Hello everyone and welcome back to our daily live series on the Jewel Cichlid fry journey. Today is day 17 and as you can see things are really starting to get exciting. If you have been following along since the beginning, you'll know how tiny and fragile these fry were just a couple of weeks ago. Now over the past few days they've seen to have grown in strength. They are swimming better. In a way they have developed better swimming skills, and now they rely heavily on their amazing parents for protection. Now yesterday on day 16 we noticed the first hints of color, and this is a magical sign that they are truly becoming Jewel Cichlids. And today on day 17 the fry are in a way bolder than ever. They are venturing further from their nest, and in a way they are exploring more of the tank and really beginning to test the limits of their independence. Let's in a way take a closer look at what the fry are doing right now. Notice how they are swimming much more confidently compared to just a few days ago. Now they dart in and out of what I call their safe zones, those zones closer to the parents where they know protection is always available. Another fascinating change that we have seen is the fry are now starting to move in small schools. Now this is not a random behavior. Schooling is a defense mechanism. In the wild, by sticking together, fish reduce the chances of being singled out by predators. And think of it as safety in numbers. So if the fry are in a big group or in a big school, then it's difficult for the predators to in a way come and snatch one of them, because obviously it appears that the other object in front of them is much bigger, so they don't generally try to attack them. What's also interesting is that the fry are exploring wider areas of the tank. So a week ago they would barely leave the spot where the parents had kept them. Today some fry swim halfway across the tank before suddenly realizing that they've gone too far, and then they come back. This is a lot like children at a playground. They'll run off a little further than usual, but every now and then they glance back to make sure that their parents are still watching. And these fry are doing exactly the same thing. They're tiny explorers with watchful parents keeping them safe. Now let's shift our focus to the parents, because they are doing something really important right now. Watch closely. You'll sometimes see a parent gently nudging a fry back into position. Now this isn't aggression, but this is guidance, almost like a teacher reminding a student to stay in line, or a teacher reminding a student to be alert in class. You may also notice that the parents perform warning displays. They flare their fins occasionally, and they also try to make themselves appear large. Now this is usually directed at a potential threat, whether it's another fish in the tank or even sometimes at us if we move too close to the glass. Or sometimes they also see the camera as a threat, and as a result they also flare up at the camera lens. And then there's this constant perimeter patrols. The parents circle around their fry like bodyguards, scanning for danger. And if one fry goes too far, the parents don't just leave it, they actively bring it back. Now this reminds me of children learning to ride bicycles. Parents let them wobble forward, but they are always right there. They are ready to catch them if they fall. And these Jewel Cichlid parents are doing exactly the same thing. They are allowing independence but within safe limits. Now let's shift our attention to growth signs and feeding. Now we see that the changes in the fry are becoming more visible now day by day. If you compare these fry how they looked on day 10, you will see that they are noticeably larger and stronger. Their swimming is smoother, it's less wobbling, and there's kind of more controlled movement. They are in full control of what they are doing. And if you look closely under good lighting, you can also see tiny flashes of color starting to form. Even now you can see there's something that's shining over there on, it's like a line on their tiny bodies. Now some fry show faint reddish or orange hues, others might have a metallic shimmer. Now not every fry will develop color at the same pace, and that's completely normal. Feeding behavior is also changing. The fry are much more active and aggressive feeders now. They dart quickly at food particles, and they are also able to handle slightly larger bits compared to the earlier days. Now parents still lead them to the feeding areas, but the fry are learning to recognize food on their own. And so this is yet another milestone in their journey. It's also a milestone for us who have been keeping watch with this family for such a long time. Now around this stage we see that their digestive systems are stronger, which means they can process a variety of foods. Now this is generally when many aquarists often start introducing crush flakes or specialized fry foods. So this is just to give them a little bit of more nutrition, which will also boost their colors. The fry may have undergone change, but there is one thing that has not changed, and in fact it has grown stronger day by day. That is the parent's defensive instinct. If you watch carefully, anytime a potential threat appears, the parents go in full guardian mode. They flare their fins, they chase intruders, and if needed, they'll also nip another fish to keep their territory safe. Now you won't see this in the aquarium here because there are only two of them together. But if they were in a community tank, you would see that they would go all out and defend their fry, defend their territory. And this was quite visible in the pond. When they had the first spawn in the pond, it was very visible. Any fish that comes nearby would be driven away or even would be attacked. And here's something every aquarist should know. Even your hand entering the tank during maintenance can be seen as a major threat. Now these parents will not hesitate to defend their fry even against you. If you would have seen our video when we tried to make a water change, the male would not allow me to make a water change properly, so I managed to just take 1/3 of the water out and replace it. So if you want to have a look, you can take a look at that video as well, where the parents did not allow me to change the water. Now this reminds me of lionesses protecting their cubs, or even birds dive bombing predators that are near their nests. Now across nature we see that parental defense is one of the most strongest instincts, and Jewel Cichlids are a perfect example of that. Now this level of dedication also means that routine tank maintenance like water changes need to be done very carefully because the parents are at their most aggressive right now. And that's quite natural. The fry also are moving here and there, so the workload on the parents has increased considerably, and therefore they want to make sure that they are doing their best to protect their young ones. Now, as we reflect on what we have seen today, it's hard not to be amazed by the universal nature of parenting. Whether it is humans, mammals, birds or fish, the drive to nurture, the drive to protect and guide the next generation is incredibly powerful. Now, watch these Jewel Cichlids. We are reminded that family bonds and parental care are not unique only to the human race. They are deeply woven into life itself, and therefore every form of life will go all out to protect its own kind. And here's a fun fact for you. In the wild, Jewel cichlids often raise multiple batches of fry during a single breeding season. Now, their survival rate is much higher than many other freshwater fish, all thanks to this extraordinary level of parental care. Now, this is the second spawn that we have had during this breeding season. Generally, it is said that as long as the fry are with the parents will not spawn again. So, the female will not lay eggs till the current batch of fry are with them. So, only when these fry grow to a considerable size, we'll think of moving them, and then hopefully they may spawn again. So, that is something that we need to watch out. Today, we saw fry becoming bolder, venturing further from the nest, while parents maintained their incredible role as guardians and guides. Tomorrow, we'll be looking for even more independence from the fry and clearer, stronger coloration as they continue to grow. Because every single day brings a new discovery. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you can follow along daily. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below on what you think about Jewel cichlid parenting, whether it amazes you the most. And if yes, do let us know what amazes you the most, whether it is their patience, their protection or their guidance.